Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Koco crew here on the Down Live. Yours truly, sexiest man on all Internet Wrestling Radio. Boom Boom here, shaking the room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. We're joined by the brutal Brit himself from south of England, none other than LK. And of course, joining us way across the pond in Kawasaki, Japan, Koco Place himself, Dave Koco. What's up, Koco? Don't promote Koco Play because I just did it for you. He's going to play hockey. He's going to play Fire Pro. So there you go. I just covered it all right there. So you don't have to hear it 27 fucking times in this damn show. So how's everybody doing?
Not too bad. Since Koco Plays is already promoted, we can do hashtag point. Let's get point into the All-Star game. Hashtag point. There. You didn't think I had something ridiculous to plug? Then you obviously do not know me. I always have something ridiculous to plug. Okay, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Yourself? Living the dream.
LK just look at this. LK just reviewed All Japan. I'm plugging all LK stuff, and he's gonna go train wrestling. So, do you think your trainer's watching this? And if you say the wrong thing, he'll be like, "Pow!"
No, he has zero fucking clue I'm doing this, and that's how it's gonna fucking stay. Like, come on. That's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. It's not dojo. It's not dojo. It's a lot different in UK to how it be in Japan. Like, we don't live there. We go once a week. We're looking to, believe it or not, people who are like in charge of it today are in a different location trying to find a new school so that we can do more training sessions a week, which will be fucking great. Because at the minute we can only do one a week because of the building we rent out, and every time we have to set the ring up and take it down. So we're looking to hopefully find a place that. Dude, it is. So we're looking to find a place where we can keep the ring up and train 2 or 3 times a week, maybe even 4. Obviously, everyone's got a full-time job, so it'd probably be 2 or 3, but that'd be fucking banging if that's the case.
All right, boom, boom. Let's break down the All Elite, and then we'll give opinions, high five, and go about our business, because I got to go play Koco Plays. LK has to train for wrestling.
You just played it.
Boom, boom. I know, but I played hockey. I still have to do my Fire Pro Wrestling, okay? I'm addicted. I got a problem. And Boom Boom has to update boomboomandstockings.net. We all have separate careers.
Yeah.
Boom Boom, break down it. No, because we had a news story earlier by LK, but let's sum it up so we can give opinions. People know what we're talking about.
All right, real quick. There was a big press conference from outside the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium. Dave Koco's favorite town in the whole world.
Fuck Jacksonville, Florida.
Inside joke. Only 6 people got that.
All right, so 6 people tweeted me 800 times at work. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Twitter's like, Jacksonville, Florida, you fucking hate it. Like, Twitter had a field day. It was like, I was up there talking in front of everyone, and he's like, bling, 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 bling. Go on, Booms.
Mm-hmm. All right, so just here are some things from the rally here. First of all, it's owned by Shad Khan, and I had to do a little background on this guy. Shad Khan is a Pakistani-American immigrant. He made his money. He's estimated to be worth $6.4 billion. He owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. He also owns the Fulham. They're in the Premier League in England. They're a soccer team or football team if you live in England. He is pretty much financing this. He made his money making car bumpers of all things and gradually expanded that. His son Tony, who is a huge wrestling fan, is going to be overseeing this. And so here's what we know. They've announced some huge signings. They have the entire Elite except for Kenny Omega and Marty Scurll. Kenny Omega, however, is expected to sign with All Elite Wrestling, and Marty Scurll more than likely will come once his contract with Ring of Honor expires come this spring. They've also hired MJF. I remember him from All In. Britt Baker, you may remember her from All In. SCU, of course, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky. Joey Janela and Penelope Ford, again, you may have seen them at All In. Chris Jericho and Pac, who some of you may already know as Neville from the WWE. And they've also reached a deal with Oriental Wrestling Entertainment. I am not making that up. It's a wrestling promotion out of China. I actually did a little Google search on them, and they are a legit wrestling company, yes, but it's not all Asian talents that they feature. There are some Western talents that they do have there as well. Other things to note.
Another thing that they talked about was they signed Good Hearts, and it made me laugh because the name of the faction is Strong Hearts from OWE. They do Wrestle One and stuff as well. That just made me chuckle. Like, good hearts. It's strong hearts. Come on, Cody. You're fucking signing these people. You don't even know their names. Sorry.
Well, their first show is going to be called Double or Nothing. No shock on that one. That's going to take place on May 25th this year at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Other things were that men and women will be paid the same. There's even talks now about providing maybe them with health insurance. I don't know how talks with that are going to go. And right now, one thing they did not talk about, however, was a TV deal. I know that they had been talking. There were several networks, including WGN America. But right now, it appears no TV deal has been finalized. So, gentlemen, just real quick, start with you, okay? Because you kind of tied up and trying to break into independent wrestling here. How big is this, and what are your thoughts on how the foundation that they've laid out so far?
I mean, it's a bit tough when we don't actually know what TV deal they're going to have. If they have a TV deal, if it's going to be like a monthly pay-per-view or a weekly pay-per-view. I mean, it's good for the industry overall. Like, offering guaranteed money to wrestlers is just, I think that's great. It means more opportunities, more places for people to go. It's not just WWE anymore. You can go to Japan and make a living. You can go AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, WWE. There's lots of places to make a living, which, like, as a training wrestler, that's what I want to see. Like, in a selfish way, and as a fan, it's like, great, that's another piece of great content. And lots of people are upset because that means that, your Bucks, Cody, and Omega won't be in New Japan. Don't be upset that they're not in a promotion. Follow your favorite wrestlers wherever they go. It shouldn't matter where they're wrestling. Follow your favorite wrestlers, and then you won't have that problem.
All right, Koco. I mean, you're a promoter or former promoter. What do you think about the rosters? Do you think it's big enough to run a show with? And just how many people do you need to have a decent roster to have shows? And what are kind of some of the struggles they're going to have to be wary of as they start this journey?
I think a lot of people are used to WWE that they're like, you have you have to have a huge roster. I don't think you need that big of a roster to run a federation. If you're doing a weekly television show for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe you just need 18 people under contract, if that. You know what I mean? Because you can always have one-offs. You can always have dream matches. You can always have people come in and leave. You know what I mean? Like, I think people have known WWE to be the only thing for so long that they don't realize what it takes to run a pretty successful company. And a lot of people have failed. But you don't need that many wrestlers. And I think there's going to be a lot more coming out of the woodwork. And plus, there's so many great wrestlers are already out there. Yeah, I'm very interested to see where this goes. I think, the Young Bucks, and we'll just say the Elite. The Elite are geniuses at marketing. The Jacksonville Jaguars have tons of money, that family. And I think it has a really good shot. But right now, it's the draft phase for sports. Everything's going great. I think you really don't know how a company is going to do until about the 2-3 year mark. You know what I mean? Because if they stick to their vision and it's all in, and they stick to their vision and it's all in all the time, it will do really, really well. I think it will, and I think it will change the business. And a lot of people make fun of it and like, oh, it's like TNA. There's a way, you know what I mean? Like,
they're not trying to be WWE, are they? Whereas that's what TNA's problem was. They were trying to be WWE, weren't they?
Which is the problem. Well, in two parts too. I agree with that. Vision-wise, they have to be themselves. That's very important. Because if you're going to be a carbon copy of something that's already number one, what the fuck is the point of you existing? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And
the second thing is that they don't want to also be WWE and make, you don't want to out WWE the WWE basically. But they have a lot of money, and they have guys that have a vision. And those two things are dangerous. Where I think TNA had a vision, and then when it had money, nowhere near as much as this money, they lost that vision. So if you could stick with the vision and have the money, they have a chance to do something really great. And even if they never surpass WWE, which shouldn't even be on the table, just success should be on the table, making your own thing. I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's probably the best opportunity in a really long time. And I think it's a better opportunity because you got to remember, we've been here for a while. We heard the XFL, all the not XFL, sorry, XWF, and all these federations that were supposed to be the next. But I think they got their ducks in a row the most. I think even when TNA at its peak, I think Dixie Carter was in charge and Kurt Angle just headbutted Samoa Joe. That was TNA at its peak, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for that, but that was my opinion of their peak. And I don't think they have the potential these guys have. Dixie didn't have that money. And then Kenny Omega, where he goes, is a factor. He's like the biggest free agent and probably a lot of young wrestlers' lifetime. So to me, it's a very interesting situation. I just hope that they focus on themselves and people give them a chance. Because what scares me the most is just this is a great day for pro wrestling if you're a pro wrestling fan. A big-time money backer is backing someone that has a vision. This should be a good day. But if you looked at the live chats, because I was on a train going to work when this was going on, you only had the extremist of this is going to take WWE out. You don't have to do that to be successful. And then you had the others like, oh, it's a lemonade stand. It's the WWE will always be dominant. This. And here's the thing. Me and Booms were old. People said this about WCW. And know what I think? This is how good WWE is at rewriting history. They like WCW version 2.0 and make it sound laughable. Like, if you lived through WCW, beside, up to Russo and its dying days, it was really fucking good.
Yeah, when you look at, if you're going to use WCW as the example, is, it was Jim Crockett. When he ran it, he started expand. His problem was he tried to expand too fast. He was doing shows a little bit. If he would have stayed, I think Ric Flair said if he was still running it, if he would have still stayed within his territory, he'd still be in business. But he tried to expand out. That winds up costing more money, and eventually it made him vulnerable. So he sold it to Ted Turner. Ted Turner then created what we now know as WCW, and then the rest is history. So I think it's not necessarily that you have money, which apparently they do, but I think it's also spending your money wisely, having a plan, and sticking with that game plan. Because I think that's a lesson. If you look at WCW, start out in NWA, Jim Crockett Promotions, that whole thing. They try to do too much too fast. They spent more money than what they had. So Crockett then sold to Ted Turner. Ted Turner took it. Turner gave it over to people who then proceeded to spend his money and bleed the company dry. By that time, the network was not interested in having wrestling anymore. They made a call to Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon bought WCW for basically pennies on the dollar, and now we have a monopoly.
Yeah. So I think, to me, this has the most potential. It has a lot of money. They have a business strategy. They've been successful with pennies, and they have a creative vision that's different. The key word today is vision. They have to stick to their vision. Okay? What do you think about the roster so far? Some people pro, some people anti, some people mixed. What's your thoughts on the roster so far?
How can you honestly be anti on that roster? Like,
a lot of WWE fans. It's just there's a fan base of just people that are so loyal to WWE, and they kind of become political fanatics, like to that level. Where, like, here's my thing: all those people that were in that live chat. If WWE is so great, why are you in that live chat?
Yeah, precisely. It's the roster's great. I think it's a good mix. That MJF's going to be a fucking star. His promo on that live stream was really great. Joey Janela's a good shout. Pac is great. It'll be interesting to see if that's a relationship with Dragon Gate or if it's just Pac. And if so, I can't wait for him to lose the Dragon Gate belt, hopefully to KZ. Whoop. Have you watched KZ, Dave? Have you watched KZ from Dragon Gate?
I'm gonna say no, but I used to watch a lot of Dragon Gate a couple years ago. How new is he?
Couple of years, 2 or 3 years.
Oh, then definitely no.
Oh, dude, you
when
gotta
when
watch it.
Yamato was on top, I don't know where Yamato is on the card. When Yamato was kind of like on top, that's when I love Yamato. Just life. That's when I stopped watching.
Oh, he's upper mid card, sometimes main events still.
Yeah. So
it's still the same type of people. They haven't changed. It literally hasn't changed. It's still Mochizuki, Yamato, Yoshino. It's still Doi. It's still the same people basically.
Yeah, I gotta get into it.
But yeah, the roster's just. I think it's a good roster, and like you said, you don't need 50+ talent to run a wrestling show. Like I was at one the other day helping out, and there was literally 9 people, 9 wrestlers on the show, and it was a 3-hour show. There was 9 people. One did double duty. You don't need 50 people, and they've got a solid roster with recognizable names. And
I would be more concerned if they had to do like a weekly television show with that kind of roster, but they're only going to do like a show. Right now, they've only got a show announced. Yeah. So I think
if they came 100%, if they came out and said, "Look, we're having a weekly episodic program called All Elite Wrestling Weekly," yeah, they'll be in the shit. It would be like, "Oh, okay, they need to sign more talent," but you got to remember how many thousands of wrestlers there are out there, and like, there's just so many wrestlers out there. They'll find people, and especially with the money they're
international too. There's thousands in each country, millions in each country, maybe. You know, it just seems getting wrestlers is not going to be the problem. That is not going to be the problem,
especially with the money. Especially if you flash the amount of money that they have at wrestlers, they're gonna eat it up. Especially if they're offering health insurance. Like, that's the big one. That health insurance, which has been rumored, is a fucking big one.
Insane. That's going to be insane. The cost for that.
Dude,
oh, good God.
Yeah, but dude, if they do get their health insurance, they could get fucking anyone. I know that's just mental. I mean, that health insurance is the big factor there. Because WWE don't offer that, do they? They give 2 shits. But no, that's a big one. It'll be interesting to see if any WWE guys leave in the coming months. That's the interesting one, and go there.
All right. Do you guys think? Okay, right now, as it stands right now, you know, Brandy Rhodes is named the branding officer, the chief branding officer, and now the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes all share the same title of executive vice president. Are you worried that they may turn into somebody like Vern Gagne or Fritz Von Erich, where they just kind of essentially book themselves to be the champion?
No, because they would have done that at All In, wouldn't they? I mean, Cody was booked to win the NWA World title, but the NWA World title isn't his to book. That's Billy Corgan. I don't know if the Bucks won the main event. I can't remember, but it would make sense to us as the main event.
Yes, they did. They had to rush that, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that was really rushed. Yeah, so I don't think that would be the problem. They don't seem like the type of people to be like, "Hey, look, let's book ourselves on top." I mean, if it's good for business, it's good for business. It's like I don't have a problem with it, but. No, I don't think they will. I don't think, especially the way Cody would have been brought up in a way where, you know, in the industry where he wouldn't have done shit like that.
And as far as, you know, is assuming they get like a TV deal or something of that nature, you know, people have talked about, you know, what kind of stuff are they going to have? You know, they're going to have like, you know, basically the Attitude Era rehashed, because right now the market's family friendly. You know, that's the standards being set right now by WWE. Are they going to divert from that? Are they going to try to do something like that? And then I'm going to give my opinion, and of course I want to hear from both of you. Is my advice would be, and of course take it for what it's worth, and it's probably not worth a dime, but I would say mature but not adult. I mean, think of how many TV shows, like, you know, back when I watched Arrow, yeah, it was mature. It was, as in, it was not really made for little kids, but it wasn't adult in the sense that I couldn't sit kids down and watch it with me. It covered some more mature subject matter. You know, it had a lot of fight, you know, action scenes, maybe some love scenes in there, but nothing just so far over the top where it was like you were seeing somebody shooting up drugs or gushing blood or, you know, even softcore pornography, you know, on the air. It was mature but not adult. And I think maybe that's kind of like the route they need to go, is have it, you know, mature to where, you know, you could still watch kids in there. You could still sit your kids down to watch it and not, you know, not have to, you know, worry about covering their eyes or telling them, okay, let me watch it first, then you can watch it. But don't have it like adult where, no, you can't watch this, period.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I think the route you said is smart. But at the same time, with you don't have to be. You can be family friendly, but not say you're family friendly. Like, they don't have to have curse words. They don't have to have nudity.
Boom.
They could be family friendly and just not say we're family friendly, because that way you're going to get more sponsorship, which means even more money. You know, that way you can get the kids, get the families, and milk as much money as you can, because in the end of the day, that's what this is all about. This is what everything is all about. That company exists to make money. The wrestlers are wrestling to make money. It's all about money. It's how it is. It's life. Life is all about money. Says the guys sat here making zero pennies out of this in any stretch of any imagination, making zero pennies and still talking for fucking hours.
Outside of how important money is to you, I think the big signees was Pac and Jericho, and I find it really interesting. We're gonna go to your live comments in a second. I find it really interesting because I hope they don't sign too many old legends. But Booms, this question will be to both of you will have the question of who do you think was a bigger surprise for you personally? To me, it was Pac.
Yeah, for me, it was Pac. I didn't know he was on the.
My question is,
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And my question for Booms is: do you see Jericho? And we're older, so you remember this. Do you see Jericho as Christian Cage of TNA, where it was just that was the floodgates, and all of a sudden we were WWE light? Or do you see Chris Jericho like ECW's Terry Funk, who was that big name that carried them to the next level, but still kept their vision? What's your prediction / what are your opinions on that?
Wow, thank you for making some really good references there. I kind of want to believe that. I'd like to believe he's going to be like the Terry Funk in ECW back in the 90s. Because, Jericho straight up said, look, I'm not in this for the money. I've already got money. I'm in this for the vision. And, and I think, he's going to win some matches. He might even I think he might get a run or two as the champion, but I don't think it's just going to be, he's going to be like this Hulk Hogan, John Cena, untouchable, win all the matches, type of person. Because I think if he wanted to do that, if it was about money, I think he could probably play that card with Vince McMahon right now, or hell, maybe even play that with New Japan right now and have it. So why bother doing this for less money?
Yeah, well, we don't know the exact amount of money. At least I don't. But yeah, so to me, I think that answer is he going to be Christian Cage, and nothing against Christian Cage. The floodgates opened, and they basically became WWE light. Or will it be Terry Funk? Because you got to remember when Paul Heyman had a small chance at running TNA, he was like, well, you got to use just one guy. That's it. You can't have 97 WWE guys because then you're WWE. But if you have one guy, a Terry Funk, or because you can imagine TNA if you cut. I know this sounds crazy because we're going back in history, but I think if they hired Paul Heyman, fired everyone but Kurt Angle, that was to be a big WWE guy and not a TNA guy, I think they would have been a lot more successful with Paul Heyman's booking and just one star. So I'm hoping that Jericho's like that. Now you watch a lot of Dragon Gate. I thought Pac was a surprise of the night. Do you think Pac, with his wrestling style, fitting in with that marketing, could be the Rob Van Dam, so to speak? And I don't know if you get that reference because I'm old. But do you see him as the guy, the 5-star match guy, the guy that they build around?
Yeah, I think so. And especially the buzz he's got around him at the minute. It just makes sense for him too. And especially with the Buck style and the style that they talk about. I mean, that OWE stuff is absolutely mental. So he'll have some bangers with the wrestlers from over there. I don't know. The question about Terry Funk is, I think that Jericho will be hopefully that Terry Funk style. And the thing is, like, what about if, say, a Dolph Ziggler, my boy Zack Ryder, and wrestlers like that, Ty Dillinger, who aren't getting used in WWE, what about if they come over to AEW? Would you classify that as being WWE light, or that's them making the decision because they don't want to be there anymore?
Zack Ryder's borderline. But Dolph Ziggler, I think when it comes to this being a success, or anything being a success, and even TNA back in the day, why I think it failed when it had the opportunity, you have to stick to your vision. So example, the vision of all in or / all elite wrestling in my eyes would be Dolph Ziggler would be a welcome addition. Shelton Benjamin, welcome
all right,
addition.
this is a question for both of you. I know LK's gonna have to wrap it up in just a minute here, but just real quick for both of you, who do you think that is currently on the WWE roster do you think would make a great addition to All Elite Wrestling? Just start shooting. Who do you think?
Obviously Dolph Ziggler, number one. I mean,
okay.
Ziggler. Any of the guys that were ROH guys, New Japan guys, like that, were just good. Dolph Ziggler should be really high on the list. Nakamura, AJ Styles. I'm trying to think. But someone along those lines, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say an internet darling, but that's what WWE basically fanboys call them.
And that's what All Elite Wrestling is. That's what it is, isn't it? It's that because they care about the wrestling fan, which means the wrestling fan wants the best wrestlers, which means you want the best wrestlers from WWE in there. But I think like when I said about the money, I think with AEW it's so important because people think that the only way I can make a killer money wise is to go to WWE, and they're not. That's not anymore because you can go to All Elite to make an absolute killing. You can go to New Japan to make an absolute killing. There is options out there to make a lot of money now, which I just think it's only good for the industry. I think it's great for the industry and it's been much needed.
All right. Well, I just want to get one question out before LK leaves. I know Boom Boom has to leave, and then we'll get to your live comments. But I kind of want to get this one on the record. It's hard to tell until they run more shows, see the roster. But right now, let's just consider this basically the draft of a sports team.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, super, super early predictions. What do you think they're going to do? LK, you got to go train for wrestling, so you can go first. Super early predictions. What do you think's going to happen?
As in, what time frame?
Forever. Just say
no time frame.
Yeah, no time frame. Just what do you think the company? Do you think the companies like the XW? I keep saying XFL. XWF goes down. Do you think it's like TNA? Eventually, the money mark leaves and they just fucking be WWE light. Do you think it's, what do you see the future of AEW? And it's crazy early. So
what is crazy early? Yeah. In my heart, I feel they get a weekly television deal. They do semi-monthly pay-per-views with the weekly television deal. Guys at the beginning leave WWE to go to AEW, and then that kind of dies down. I think that they will make WWE become a more better product. So I think it's good for W as well. And the thing is, I think it will compete with NXT. I think it will make NXT step up and be more of a competition to NXT than Raw and SmackDown. I think the numbers will surprise people. I think it won't get the 1 million plus that people are expecting. Just like, because subscribers to their YouTube channel, which is their hardcore fans, they're not even at 300,000. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe they'll get 250 to 300,000 a week. Who knows? But I think it'll be a success because people will always attend those shows. So either way, they're going to make a steady income. And it'll just be it is fascinating. I think it hasn't been like this in a long, long time. But it doesn't feel like you said. It doesn't feel like it's TNA where they're like, oh, can they compete? It feels like, oh, is this company going to take off? How successful is this company going to be? Not will it defeat WWE? And I think that's what people need to take away from this show is let's not say will it compete with WWE. Let's say will it be successful? How successful will it be? Because nothing's going to top WWE with the amount of money they make. Let's call a spade. Nothing's ever going to conquer it or make it out of business. It just won't happen.
I agree with what you're saying, but people said that about Yahoo. People said that about MySpace. People said that about AOL. You know what I mean? People, for the short time, thought about that with WCW. Giants fall. It's just not easy and happens every day.
Yeah, but the thing is, will it be good for the industry if WWE goes out of business? I don't think so. I think it's terrible for the industry. I think that you would lose a lot of casual fans who watch wrestling just for the Raw out of habit, just for SmackDown out of habit. Because you can't tell me out of the 2 million now, down to 2 million, who watch Raw every week, you're telling me that 2 million of them are hardcore wrestling fans. No way. Absolutely no way. You'll lose all those casual fans, which will then have a reflect on the indies in America and the UK, because then casuals aren't watching the television show, so they kind of forget wrestling exists. So I think
anytime a giant falls, there's going to be people that don't. There's people more me and Boom Boom's age, but Boom Boom probably can agree to this. There are people that just stopped watching pro wrestling when WCW went out of business.
Exactly. So, if that happens with WWE, that's
when a giant falls, it still makes a big crater. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I think it's good if they don't fall. I don't want WWE to go out of business. I don't want All Elite Wrestling to go out. I want none of them to go out of business. The more companies means the more chances for wrestlers to work, which means more chances for fans to see more wrestlers, and it gives a better product. Happy wrestlers means better matches, because you don't want to go out and see a guy being grumpy like, "Oh, I'm here," blah 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 blah. Whereas if he goes out going, "You know what? This is gonna be a fucking great show. Can't wait." Bomb, bomb, bomb. It's a completely different story. I just think that it's great for the industry. I respect the fuck out of what they've done. It's genius. Shout out to the Khan family for investing in something they love, because it is a big investment and it could go tits up at any point. And let's just not see this as will they fuck up WWE? Will they be successful? And hopefully they're going to be successful for a very, very long time. With that being said, I have got to shoot off. So thank you very much for having me. If I'm not back, I died. Touch wood. Hope I might be back later to do NXT, depending on what time I get back. I usually get back for about 12:30 or midnight, depending on how tired and beat up I am. But I might do an NXT recap. I'm not too sure yet. But either way, thank you for having me. And I'll see you guys
Welcome
tomorrow.
Back to the team, brother.
Amen. Ta-ta.
All right, Booms. Now that LK is gone, I just want to get that on record, because it would be funny to see where it goes. Booms, before we go to live comments, and we're probably gonna wrap this up soon, unless you got a bunch of questions, and I'm cool with that. What is your predictions right now? I know it's early. It's like seeing a number 1 draft pick and being like, "Oh, his career is gonna be like this." It's not easy, but it's still fun. Booms, go on record. What do you think AEW does?
All right, I'm gonna roll the dice here. I think All In, Double or Nothing will be a success, because they've got a stacked roster. They're going to want to make sure everybody shines. This is the brand new toy. Everybody wants to make sure everything is taken care of down to the littlest minute detail. So I think that'll be a success. I do believe they will get a TV deal or some kind of streaming deal. They will get something, and that's where it's going to get tricky. If you're going to wind up on the Travel Channel at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, okay, you may not be that successful. But if you can get something like WGN America, maybe TNT, TBS, I'm just throwing other channels here on a weeknight in prime time, yes, I think you've got a chance to not be a niche product. And also, it's going to be how they manage their money, because they've got a lot of big names. From what I understand, a lot of big contracts, and I think the Khan family was willing to go all in on this, because there's a promise of this will be successful. What I'm worried is going to happen is this will be something like NXT, whereas NXT I think loses more money than what they actually pull in. So in this, I guess with AWE or AEW, excuse me, with All Elite Wrestling, I'm worried is, they could be successful. They could be doing absolutely everything right, but some pencil pusher is going to look at the sheet and go, well, these guys made us $1 million, but we spend $1.2 million to put it on air. We need to, get this deficit. We need to take care of this. And then you're not going to turn around and go, okay, so which one of you guys wants to work for less money? Because nobody's going to fucking raise their goddamn hand on that one. So they may have to let somebody go, or that's going to be the tipping point. It's just going to depend on how they manage their money. If they can stay smart about it and start, maybe after they get established, maybe taking some of these bigger names, they're making a lot of money, maybe kind of quietly, respectfully, usher them out and bring in some up and comers for lower money. Maybe they can have staying power. It's just going to depend on how things go after the, so to speak. I don't know if it's the same where you're from, but where I'm from, when the shine wears off, it's just where they're going to be when that happens. If they play, they can play their cards right and still lose. They can do everything completely wrong and still win. It's just time's going to tell. But it seems like everybody's got their head on straight. They've got a vision. They've got the backing. I think as long as they have that and they don't get out of control financially, I think they will be will they rise to the level of WWE? I highly doubt it, but I think they will be a solid, viable product for people to enjoy.
I see him as a #1 draft pick that has all the potential in the world and probably the most potential a company's had in a while. The one thing that WCW had as an advantage, Ted Turner didn't give a fuck. He was so rich. He was like, yeah, fuck, I don't care if I lose money. I don't know if Mr. Jacksonville is the same way. I don't know if the Jacksonville Jaguar, that's who's signing the contracts, right? The actual Jacksonville Jaguar. I don't know if he has that Ted Turner, fucking, I'm rich, an attitude. So we don't really know much about the Jaguars owners. At least I don't, besides what you read on Wikipedia. But yeah, it should be very interesting. I think it has a lot more potential than anything that's been out there in a while since WCW. And like, again, it doesn't matter what they do to WWE. I think it will be like a very good NXT show every week. Like, I think it will be like a takeover. You know what I mean? And I think that I think it will be the best alternative that we've seen since WCW. And I think it could make a dent later down the road. You know what I mean? But as long as they survive, that's all that matters. And as long as they stick to their vision. Because let me say, if they don't stick to their vision, like New Japan's not sticking to their vision. TNA didn't stick to their vision. If they don't stick to their vision, then there's no fucking point of them existing. So I just hope they stick to their vision, and I think they can do major things. I feel the same way when the Lightning signed Vinny LeCavier. I don't know if he's going to be the next Wayne Gretzky, but he feels like the next Wayne Gretzky. You know what I mean? So to me, it's going to be really interesting. Booms, I'm going to go through some live comments, and then after that, if you got any questions, hit me up, and then we'll do it. All right, to the live comments. Dun, 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 I apologize. I'm trying to find it. All right. Andy Paps and Franielli, thank you for being there. I think it's funny that we're going to have wrestling on TNT again after Time Warner said they never watched wrestling on the network. Boy, things are changing. Yeah. Well, AOL Time Warner merger was probably one of the dumbest fucking big moves in the history of everything. Not just pro wrestling. That was a really dumb fucking move. Joey Janela, the person, is a jerk off. Joey Janela, the wrestler, is decent. All right. I don't know much about him, but I'm going to take your word for it. MJF is amazing. I watched his first wrestling match in Brooklyn, New York. I love when you get to see someone come up from the indies. I got to do that with Christopher Daniels, Roderick Strong, AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, even Ibushi. It fucking feels amazing. I saw AJ Styles wrestle in front of 3 fucking people. I saw Kenny Omega wrestle in front of fucking like 12 people. I don't know, as a fan, it feels fucking good. You know what I mean? When I saw AJ Styles walk out at Wrestle Kingdom, I'm like, motherfucker, I saw him, in IPW. I saw him in NWA Florida. I saw him in NWA Wildside. I don't know. As a fan, you should check out your indies because in the long term, that feels good. It feels like, it's just like you were, not steal a line, but it feels like you were there from day one. It feels fucking good as a fan, It's same thing when you're a loyal sports fan, like when the Rays win the World Series, it's going to feel so fucking good. All right. Jericho should be champion of the universe. Yeah. Bry Robinson, for some reason, they not shown your thing. We'll show it.
That's what I would do with them. That's what I would do with Jericho. I would use Jericho. I mean, yeah, put him on top, but then finally when it's time for him to, pass up the belt, I would use him to get somebody else super over.
Yeah, and it depends. And here's the thing. I know we're stressing on a TV deal. I don't think the TV deal is as important as it used to be with streaming. Like if they said we're on Netflix, bam, that's good enough. You know what I mean? I don't think the TV deal is what it used to be. It's still important, but I don't think it's the end all like back. And I know it sounds crazy because it was recent, where I know like sometimes I'm old and I'll be like, remember that time WCW started? And I'm like, shut up, old man. But I think when TNA was starting and doing those weekly pay-per-views and they found television was way more valuable back then. I think television's lost its value. And I'm not saying it's not valuable. I'm just saying it's not as valuable as it used to be. Would you like to see Okada leave New Japan now? Now that he's losing to bums like Jay White? Bry Robinson, this comment haunts me. I love Okada. I love New Japan. 1-4 was, I would just say, didn't live up to the hype, the romance. It didn't live up to Wrestle Kingdom standards at all. That's how I describe this year's Wrestle Kingdom. 1-5 was them putting shit on fire and rubbing it in your face for an hour. And then going on Twitter and seeing superfans be like, long-term booking. I described it like this. 1-5, Booms, if I can have a second to describe 1-5 for a second.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched Spider-Man 3 with a lady, though, I remember we leaving the movie theater, and while we were at the seat, she goes, "Did you enjoy it?" And I didn't say anything. And me and my friends walked to the car. And in the movie theater, like, dude, did you enjoy it? Didn't say anything. In the parking lot, did you enjoy it? We parked far away. Walked all the way to our car. Did you enjoy it? Nothing. And I sat fucking down in the car. And everyone was silent. They're like, dude, Dave lost his fucking mind. This was the original Spider-Man 3. And I just turned, didn't say anything, turned and looked at him and said, I just saw a bad Spider-Man movie. That's how I feel about 1-5. 1-5 was fucking garbage. And if you fucking defend that bullshit, you'll defend anything, and New Japan means nothing. It was tough. All right, more live comments.
Mm-hmm.
Pac versus Omega would be an amazing match. I agree. It really would. The Revival, yep, that'd be awesome. I don't think sorry. Oh, come on, baby. I don't
think AEW can be any worse than WWE. That's from me, from Indoor.
Yeah, of course.
Then Brian Robinson says, what did you think of the tampon spot? I thought it was disgusting. That was from a bar wrestling show this past weekend.
Oh, I am the biggest hypocrite if I fucking do that. All right, Booms. I don't get offended very easily, barely at all. Like, if a kid, a legit kid, 18 and under, if a kid didn't get fucking hurt, I'm not offended. Like, let me put it this way. I'm going to say someone might have had a bloody tampon bucket match where if you submitted, the opponent put fucking bloody tampons on your fucking head. That might have happened at ACW with David Mercury versus Cedric Strong. Someone in this podcast might have had the book. So if
God damn it,
I
Dave,
booked that,
much about you.
If I book that, it's hard to offend me. If you read the first chapter of Operation Freak Show on Amazon.com, listen, PC culture, I don't want to fucking hate you. And, if it makes you feel better that, hey, fucking that guy that's completely different is more confident because you yelled at someone on Twitter. And, dude, more power to you. I don't want to be the fucking asshole here. But when you fucking ruin art, that's where I draw the fucking line. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, dude, no. Now, listen, if you want to fucking make the workplace better, you want to make pay better, you want to let women in the Middle East fucking drive. Oh, yeah, you're not on that because you're pussies. But if you want to do something and change the fucking world for the better, I'm for that. But when you change fucking art, you also change history. And fuck you. Okay, what are you doing back, brother?
Can you hear me? Yeah, is it all working?
Oh yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, you're alive.
I'm traveling on the bus, so I've got another hour before.
Oh my God! Tell the bus driver he's on the wrong side of the road.
He's on the right side of the road, dude.
He's on the wrong side. He's going on the left side. That's wrong.
It's the right side. What are you guys doing over there anyway? It's silly. Is my audio okay? Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not bad. You can hear the bus humming in the background, but it adds character to the show.
I'll mute when I'm not talking. All right.
All right, Booms. I'm blind as a bat. You want to speed up the comments? Just hit up the main questions and points.
Yeah, well, as far as the tampon spot goes, look, it was a bar show. No kids were in there, and I think they just did it just to kind of get a shock and attention, and for the most part, it worked. And I think if people thought it was disgusting,
what is the tampon spot? Was it a bucket of bloody tampons poured on his head? Because there was kids in that fucking building. Jesus Christ, I'm a horrible writer.
I'll explain to you if you'll shut the fuck up for 10 goddamn seconds.
All right, go for a second, sir.
It was a bar wrestling show it was a women's match. These two women were battling each other. One woman sat another, incapacitated another woman, sat her down, reached into her trunks, pulled out a tampon that appeared to be used, for lack of a better term, said, "All right, Tuna, you ready for the tuna?" and put it in her mouth.
That's amazing. What the fuck? Jesus Christ, that has Dave Koco written all over it. I fucking give that 2 thumbs up. That is great fucking booking. You are all fucking pussies if you're offended by that. Hashtag, why don't we have fucking ads? But seriously, go fuck yourself.
And now the chick is now that chick has got like a T-shirt out essentially about it. So
I'm buying it. I'll buy it. I'll buy a fucking.
It did what it accomplished.
God, yes. Jesus Christ. Grow the fuck up and grow a pair. I know the person asking this question ain't a bitch, but seriously, if you're offended by that, Jesus fucking Christ, go outside. Fucking, there's so much
21 plus show as well. It was, you have to be 21 to get in. It wasn't like recorded for any television or anything. I didn't have any issue with it.
Oh, that's beyond fucking horrible. All of you guys. Seriously, you should be a fucking shame to yourself. Jesus fucking Christ.
I understand why some people were grossed out. I completely understand. I mean, we all know it wasn't actually a real used tampon, but I think the idea of it's what kind of made some people cringe. But, look, it was a bar wrestling show. No kids were there. It wasn't made for TV. It was there for shock value. And, just it is what it is. And just move along. Nothing to see here.
Jesus Christ. I thank Terry Funk I don't fucking book. Jesus Christ, that'd be a fucking Twitter nightmare. Twitter nightmare. That's what we're gonna start a wrestling promotion called Twitter Nightmare.
All right. I'm going to kind of speed through this. So if anybody's got anything they want to say, just feel free to chime in. Ewok says, unlike TNA, AEW feels different. It will start to make things right. The WWE is shit. Okada would be booked as a joke in the WWE. WWE have the experience and should be better than they are, but they've become fat, bloated, and comfortable. AEW will kickstart a revolution, hopefully. All right. Who is Bum Bums? Yeah, I said that.
It never gets old. Never gets old, Bum Bums. Never gets old.
Favorite current wrestler? I would say Kenny Omega is currently my favorite wrestler. I just really love watching his matches.
Okada. What about OK? OK's training. What's your favorite OK?
Probably Shitter from DDT. Not gonna lie at the minute. Like that's when I watch him. That's the kind of style I want to have. So if anyone want to watch what style I want to have, type in DDT Shitter.
Okay, I will do that. AEW just to keep it feeling real. Andy Papp says, if you guys watched NXT a few weeks ago, a good friend of mine was on Mitch Tavana. Was Mitch Tavana? In NYC Indy's face. Okay, I guess he was one of the preliminary guys. Download.
I love that. I wish they used their real names.
Did you guys watch Homecoming? They were talking about Impacts recently.
LK watched Homecoming and did a review on the channel. Go ahead, okay.
Yeah, I did a review on it. It was a really good show. Recommend it. I think the Lucha Bros and LAX was a banger. Like generally a really, really good match.
All right, and then now we got people talking about the tampon spot. It was probably.
Is anyone offended? Really? I hope that no one in the internet infantry is offended.
And then Sports Talk with Lee brought up a good question. Is it disgusting when it isn't a real used tampon? It's kind of like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a noise? Well, if it wasn't a real used tampon, was it really disgusting?
Let me put it this way. I fucking booked wrestling in the 90s, and 90% of my storylines were wrestlers going, I'm not doing that. And not because it was a dangerous spot, just because the storyline went too far. I was going to make Tampa All Pro. I was going to call it Florida Underground, but someone else told the title. And it was going to be an all-adult show with strippers. And Booms heard some of the storylines. The storylines went so fucking far that the wrestler was like, I love working for you. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So, Jesus Christ, man. If I ran a promotion, an adult promotion, I'd be on Twitter every fucking day being sacrificed to the PC gods. Booms, you remember some of the storylines?
Yeah, I think I remember one, and I was like, no, there was one you said that I thought was kind of like really crazy, but it said, no, they were cool with it. They were totally cool with it. And I was like, fuck, bro, you gotta like back it up just a little bit.
No way. Going all out. If you want entertainment, then fucking you're gonna get entertainment by Operation Freak Show.
All right.
Guaranteed to offend.
Let me double check. Andy Pap says, let's see. Oh, Mike Ashman says, good to see the band back together again. It's great to be back. Andy Pap says, I'm offended that people are offended. And that's it for comments. We need to wrap this bad boy up here.
All right. Well, LK is on the bus, so let's give him last word. LK, you can say whatever you want. Is LK dead? Did LK get shot?
I think he might have lost internet connection. It's a very good possibility.
Let me talk for LK. Oh, I really love Koco Plays. You should subscribe. All right. Thanks, LK. Welcome back to the team. All right. Yeah, he's gone. I'm glad he got that in last second. Holmes, you want anything to say before we go? You want to say happy birthday to a special masked wrestler out there?
Yeah, I got to say happy birthday to Sammy, otherwise known as El Gigante. He's turned like 45 now. He's getting married this spring. Congratulations to him, and have a big old extra big piece of birthday cake just for me, brother. And also, in the meantime, follow us at KocoSports.com. That's KocoSports.com, your home for combat sports, where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and hit that notification bell because you never know when we're going to do a show. We are popping up literally at random, so you need to know when we're coming up. As you can tell, we will use your comments. LK, any parting words for you, sir?
No, just thank you very much, everyone, for being legends and watching.
All right.
I got kicked off the bus.
Yeah, we figured.
Yeah, you were in the middle of promoting Koco Plays. There's an All Japan review on the show. LK is part of the team, so check out KocoSports. Happy birthday, Sammy. Koco Plays is fucking awesome. And hold on, we got some quick live questions here. I am Mikey. Mike Ashman says, dude, pro wrestling fans cry about wanting something shocking and wild. The moment it happens, they rant on Twitter. Vince fucked you all up. I agree with that 120%. WWE had Triple H fuck a corpse. Yeah, that was awesome. / horrible. That's one of those, it's so bad it's good. You know what I mean? I'm just here. Please don't go. Laugh my ass off. Like, comment, subscribe. LK is making tons of videos. All right. I like to be surprised with wrestlers turning on others. I also like to be shocked by special debuts. Yeah, that's always cool. All right. I just like pro wrestling when it's done right. It's just not easy to do it right. Or at least it seems that way. All right. Happy birthday, Sammy. LK, thank you for being back in the team. Boom, boom. Thank you, as always. You're the rock of fucking this place when I was at my fucking lowest. And hashtag vote Point. We need to get Brandon Point into the All-Star game in NHL. And check out Koco Plays because, seriously, it's my fucking passion. Dude, you have no idea how much I stream on PlayStation 4. It's fucking ridiculous. I have like 3 full-time jobs, and I'm like, I got to stream. I put everything on hold, okay? Everything on hold. I usually play NHL, Fire Pro Wrestling, and 2D platformers, and also buy my book. This year is going to be an adventurous year because with or without my agents, with or without my publishers, we're doing 2 books. Booms, we're printing 2 books. I don't care if I get fired from everybody. All right. Love you guys. Anyone else want to say anything? No? All right. KocoSports.net. Hopefully Jerry stops being a piece of shit. All right. Anyone crying about Priscilla never seen Deathmatch Women's Rest? Yeah. Great seeing you all again. LOL. Sub since day one. I am Mikey. You're the fucking real hero. You're the true hero. I never liked a Triple H Katie Vick angle. I never did either. It was fucking god awful. But know what it is? Okay, can I get fucking real for a couple seconds? The PC culture makes god awful stuff entertaining. And that's on you. That is on you. Hashtag go fuck yourself. Booms. Why doesn't YouTube sponsor us anymore? Why don't the ad revenue come in, Booms? I don't fucking get it. 1 + 1 equals, oh God, Dave Koco has a live mic. All right. Okay, thanks again. Boom, boom, thanks again. Internet inventory for life. And with that, I am over. Koco Plays, Koco Plays. Go to Koco Plays and subscribe. Koco Plays, Koco Plays. Go to Koco.